Good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, the 10th of June, 2023. It's almost 7 o'clock and it's still 98 degrees. I'm probably not going to get very much done on the airplane build today, but I did have a great day. I went to my EAA chapter meeting and afterwards hopped in the back of somebody's 182 and we did a lunch fly out to Beaumont, Texas, at this place right here or wherever I decided to show it. Super fun. And I'm home now and I really feel like I need to get something done in the workshop. I've got two things going on right now. I have a huge mess over here, and over here I've got a fuel tank and some 1/4-inch aluminum tubing that needs to turn into a vent line. I have tons of experience with huge messes. I have no experience working with aluminum tubing and AN fittings. So I should probably get this cleaned up, and then if the only thing I get done here is the snap bushings, I'd be satisfied that I got something done in the fuel tanks today. So anyways, this is going to be a simple one. Live to fight another day. Thanks for being here, and catch you on the other side.
This video is going to feel pretty different than anything that I've shown you so far because I did so little on this day. So usually you're used to seeing this sped up a minimum of 50 times. Here it's sped up 4 times. I spent a total of 30 minutes in the shop, and in that 30 minutes I completely soaked through my shirt. Man, it's just blazing hot. Anyways, pretty simple business here, just getting cleaned up and getting all of those rivets put away. If you recall, I had a bunch of rivets that I had sloshed around in acetone so that they were nice and clean for riveting with the sealant. And so I put those ones in a separate jar, knowing that I'll go back to cleaning them again later because I'll be compulsive about that. And overnight I soaked my bucking bars and my rivet gauge and acetone just to make the cleanup a little bit easier in the morning. I didn't go crazy on the cleanup on the sides of the bucking bar because I know that before long I'll probably be getting them all grubby again, at least 1 or 2 more times. The flyout was super fun. If you do end up going to Tia Juanita's fish camp, I will tell you the portions are huge. I got a fish platter, medium fish platter, and I couldn't finish it, not even close. So I don't know. And it was the same kind of for everybody. So go there hungry or order small. So there are some little plastic snap bushings that go through some holes all the way through to hold the vent line. That's a pretty easy job to do. Just pop them in. And I thought that I was going to get a really cool shot. It didn't really turn out that cool. But yeah, just pop in the snap bushings. That takes all of 30 seconds maybe. And then start working with the aluminum tubing, trying to get it straight, more or less, to feed through there. There will be a couple of bends in either of the end bays that you kind of have to manipulate. This is something I saw Scott McDaniels do, and I thought that's a pretty good way to save your back. So coming up here is what I hope to be a cool shot of the camera looking straight down the pipe, and it really didn't work out. So here you go, a snap bushing coming in, and kind of working the tubing into the clip. About that clip, if you recall, I spent quite a bit of time trying to match Van's instruction on the plans to get that sort of standoff, double bend kind of thing. But if you look at the one in their video, they just did a simple boop, loop back on itself. So I ended up with this fancy clip for no reason. So anyways, this is really more of a test fitting because on the other end, I'll have to go back and flare the tube and attach it to the AN fitting. So I think that I have 19 feet of this 1/4-inch aluminum tubing, and these fuel tanks are about 5 feet long. So I was pretty generous with the portion that I cut off. In the end, I probably cut it I'd say about 3 inches longer than it needs to be. So I have room to work and make the bends, do the fitting. I will say that you see me here using the tube cutter. That's a very simple tool, and it's got a little sort of deburring tool in the end that you can just pop it in the end and scoop that burr out from the cut. The flaring tool that I purchased, I'm not happy with, and I had a question about it because these fittings use a 37-degree flare, which is different than automotive stuff, which I think is 45 degrees. But you can find inexpensive 37-degree flaring tools, and if you look at aviation tool suppliers, they are really expensive. I mean, the leap in price is enormous. So I figured, I've never done this before. It's not going to hurt me to purchase a cheap one and just learn the process of flaring. And so that's what I did. I say I only spent 30 minutes in the shop. After I cut the end of this video, I stayed in there for another 30 minutes just using short lengths of tube and trying to learn how to use that flaring tool. And I wasn't happy with the results at all. It mars the outside of the tubing where it clamps on so that, it can get a grip on the tube. It mars it pretty badly. I don't think that it fits the tubing properly. And anyways, point is, on Monday I'll go to the hangars over at Conroe Airport and to the EAA chapter and see if I can check out from the tool crib a good flaring tool. I'm not ready to spend 180 or $200 on a flaring tool for what right now will just be a couple of fittings. On that point, I made a decision to go a different direction with the fuel tanks. I'm not going to make my own fuel pickups. I read the instructions and it seems pretty straightforward, but everything I read about it, everybody, it seems, says, yeah, you can make your own, but I ended up replacing them with the Van's pre-manufactured ones that have a mesh screen on them rather than crimping the end of the line and sawing cuts into it with a Dremel. Everybody it's $16, do that. The other thing I decided to do is, since I really am not in a hurry, I'm going to go ahead and do an inverted fuel system. So on one tank will be a flop line fuel pickup, and I'm going to have to do some reworking, but I have the room to do it. Like, I haven't committed to not doing inverted fuel at this point without those two end bays closed out. So that's going to be kind of a big project for the coming week. It should be interesting. I do have to wait for some parts to come in, but I might jump back onto the empennage because my back-ordered parts should be here any day now. So that's this one.